Learn haircut from scratch with 4HR. Today is our third video of the episode. Let's get right into the video. In today's video, I'm going to teach you guys how to shape a customer's hairline properly for beginners. So please, if you're a pro man here, calm down. Let me take it so basic for my people so we learn. To give hairline to any customer, you have to consider the forehead. Some people have a very flat forehead, others have a protruding forehead, others have a very broad forehead. So based on the forehead, you are able to give a very accurate hairline starting from the middle. That's something you should take note of. So with hairline, we don't memorize. You don't just learn from your master and memorize. Master has been doing it this way and that is how I'm supposed to do it. No. Every customer and his or her forehead, and that is what you are supposed to follow. Looking at this particular customer's forehead, at the right side of it, there has been a very depression there, like a kind of anatomical people will say fossa, a little depression. So if you are doing it or giving the hairline at that right side, if you are not careful, you may make a mistake. That's why I'm first of all doing the left side first, so I can give all the time to the right side where I'm coming right now to check it to get it to the accurate level. So starting from the middle, following the position of the forehead, you just follow that arc. I don't know how to say, but it's so simple to do. And if you are confused to do it, please, when you are giving hairline shape, you see your body is very close to the customer and you find it difficult whether what you are doing is right or wrong. So from where the customer is seated in the chair to your mirror, there should be a distance. So what you do is that after every attempt, you go stand behind the customer and watch him from the mirror, and that will give you that distance from where the customer is seated to the mirror. That one is able to give you a very good prediction as to whether the shape is right or wrong. That's what I'm trying to say. So please, in the olden days, people would just run back, stand somewhere and wait to see if the shape is clear. This time around, because of the mirror, or let me say now, because of advance of knowledge, it's very good to watch it from the mirror, because the distance between the customer and the mirror is more or less like you running the same distance away to watch it. So that is what I have done here. Number one, I consider the forehead, and I made sure I'm not pushing back. Most customers, most barbers, because they want the hairline to be very accurate, they will be pushing back. Please, that is one thing you have to prevent as a barber. Do not push back your customer's hairline, else he will never come back to your shop again. That's very important because everybody wants to maintain their hairline. So make sure you don't push it back. And at the edges or the sideways before the C cap, you make sure that it is standing straight. It is standing straight. How do you see that it is standing straight? Usually, when you check the eyebrow, there's a very upside kind of climax of the eyebrow. Looking at the eyebrow, I'm talking about the eye, the hair on the eye. You see where there's that little increase in the width of the hair? It kind of always point to that thing. So maybe if you want to memorize to see whether what you are doing is right, you can use that one to do it. And the length, whether where you are giving your C line at your C cap at the right side and the left side are the same, you can measure that with your blade. So when you go to this side and do, you don't just stand at this side to watch to see if they have the same length. You have to measure that with a blade. On the blade, we have writings on the blade. So let's say this side, I did it and I got to the M. The inscription on the blade written M. I put that in my mind and I go to the other side to do same and make sure that it is also ending at the M. It's a technique nobody will teach you unless on this platform. Please, it's for basic people. I'm trying to speak in a way layman will understand. Not for pro. Your time will come. I will do crazy things for you guys to see. So if you're a pro barber and you are here visiting the channel for the first time, you can subscribe and like our videos. When it gets to your turn, you will get notification and come watch. So that is it for the hairline as you guys are watching. And we can't do the hairline forgetting the beard. So I'm adding the beard to it, and I think this side you can just be watching and following what I'm doing. It's just the normal hair. You are just following the pattern of the person's hair, how it has grown, to be able to give both the beard shape and the hairline. And that is what you are going to dye. Please, most people will shape the person's beard. The person will see that there are no beards there, but they will still force to shape it so that they can sharpen that with the dye. If you do that, it will make the whole work dirty. And before I get to the dye side, please, your dye, I will show you guys, I will teach you guys how we even mix the dye, because it's also very important. If you don't get to know how to mix your dye, by the time you are done, you are getting check. When I say check, if you trace, you will see that there wouldn't be the consistency of your dye wouldn't spread that well, and you see some parts will be very dark whilst others are faded out. So you have to also consider how you do your dye, and I'll show that on this platform. Today is for shape or hairline and the dye. So as you guys can see now, we are halfway through whatever we are doing. And with the hairline, at times you might not finish with your fading. So when the hairline is properly drawn there, you can now be using your machine to fade it small. And this customer wants the mustache to merge with the beard. That's why I'm doing all that I'm doing and you are watching. So first of all, require that from your customer. Ask them how they want it. Talk to them like for some few minutes before you even start the whole thing. And when you are shaving and you are talking to your friends elsewhere, please have 100% concentration with whatever the barber told and the customer told you. If you don't have the ability to divide your attention 100, please make sure you are not talking to your friends. Else, whatever they told you, you might forget and be doing other things, and that will piss them off. They might not get back to you or come to your shop again. They will not return. Make sure you are keeping the barbers. And let me give you guys this one secret. Barbers are not permanent. Customers are not permanent. Customers only revisit when your recent work is pleased. So when you do it today well, you sign another contract with them the next day. But if you don't do it well, they are not coming again. You see, so even if they are your friends, the customer is your friend, and the person is worrying with a lot of talks, football matches, issues, please do not buy into it. Have your 100% concentration whilst working with the person. So now let's get to the dye side. I will teach you how to mix the dye properly. Another video. This is the dye side. For the dye side, I'm just following the pattern of the blade or the shape I've drawn. The dye is not to only make the hair black, but it's also to sharpen your edges, the hairline, to sharpen it. So most barbers or most customers will come and be like, oh, my hair is already black, I don't want to dye it. You as a barber have to tell them that it's not only for the hair to be black, but also to sharpen it. Others don't want it very deep. And how will the dye be deep or will not be deep depends on the time duration left after you have dyed the person's hair, or the time duration the dye was mixed. A fresh dye will stick or adhere to the skin very faster than an old dye. A dye that has lasted or that has been mixed for 4 hours, when you wash, it will wash off better than the dye that was just mixed, prepared. So it will be very good you prepare your dye down, but make sure it wouldn't elapse 2 hours before you use, depending on what the barber wants. Depending on what the customer wants. Some customers want their hair dye to be very deep. Others want it to be very light. Others don't even want it at all. So that's why it's very important to ask the customer their preference. Let's say, for instance, you are a very good barber, but because you did not ask from your customer doesn't want the dye to be very deep. You did not even ask. So you have done it so nice, but a very deep dye. The person will go and will never come back again. And others too want it deep. Because you are a pro barber, you will do it and do it very faint. They will go and will not come back again. So you are making sure that they are going and they are coming back. So you are working within their means and your means, making sure that you are doing the right thing. So with this side, as you guys are watching, I'm not even using blade. I'm just going straight. I will not touch this thing with any blade, like correcting it. That's why my hand is not dirty. At times you see some barbers and their fingers are all dyed. They are just bathing with the dye. No, you have to master your craft so that what you are doing, you will know is accurate. You don't even have to take blade and go close to it. So after you have dyed the front sides like this, you go to the sideways and you make sure that you don't draw the line before you come to blend the sideways. You do it alongside so that when you are washing, that uniformity will be there. You see, so that it wouldn't be that one side is too dark than the other side. You have to speed up. You are dyeing this side, you are dyeing the other side. If you don't do it very fast, one side will be very darker than the other. That's why you have to be very fast with your dye as a barber. So that's exactly what I'm doing. And if you guys took notice of this, you see everything I'm doing is in the video. So at times I may skip some of the speeches. You have to know what I'm doing by watching. When I was applying the dye on the forehead, I made sure that when I put the comb down, I pull it back so that it spreads back. I don't just draw a line like I'm just drawing a line and later on come and pull. When you do that, and when you do that and you wash the hair, the black dye from the hair, you will see that that place will be very dark. That forehead side, that side alone will be very dark, which will not make your work very neat. So take notice of that. Any question you don't understand, maybe this is my first and my third time doing this video thing, so some of my languages are not on point, but bear with me. If you don't understand anything, you can ask in the comment section and I'll easily type it for you guys. So I'm shaving and still talking and it's making everything more difficult. That's what you guys are watching in the video. Now we will come to the beard side, how to dye the beard. It's also very important. It's also very, very important because that side, if you don't do it well, it makes the whole work dirty. So when you go on my TikTok page and you watch my videos, people will be like, what dye do you use? They are all talking about that because you are giving the customer a perfect look and a clean cut. That's why they are asking those questions. So know how you can mix your dye, how you mix your dye, and how you apply your dye, and how fast you'll be. If you guys were following, I did not touch with blade. I just did it raw with the comb and I'm done. I never touch anything with the blade, and that's how you get it to be accurate. And this side, I've started the beard, just check it. I put the comb down and pull it back. I don't just draw a line, and I quickly pick my brush to spread it inside. So I don't just make a side darker than the other. That's the motive. You should make sure that you are getting everything spread throughout so fast that all the black side will be the same. That's the motive of what we are doing here. So with the beard, you can use the blade to sharpen the edges so that when you wash it, you can get that sharp edge on the sides. So that's exactly what I'm doing. And hold the pot and the face of the customer so you don't go touch the dye with your hand, else your whole hand will be just dirty with dye, which is not professional. So for beginners, you guys can be watching the video over and over. You can even mute the voice and just be watching it with your eye. You will see what I'm doing. I'm doing all this video for you guys because most of you guys want to come to the shop and learn. I already have guys there and the place is occupied. So I saw it to be very good to do it here so that you guys can be watching and see if you are in the shop. Watch the back, how I'm doing the joining. So this particular place is also very crucial. I don't know how to say it, but you can see clearly that when the dye is going to the ear side, is a bit lighter than it is down there, because I always start from the down, because immediately you pick the dye from the bowl with the comb, it picks more dye. So when you start from the down, by the time you get to the top, the amount of dye on the comb has reduced. So obviously that place is going to be light, as you can see, and it's giving me a very good reflection. You can see it, and this is why my work is accurate and different. When you finish washing this, or when I finish washing this, you will just see that it's so nice. And another thing is the time elapsed before you wash. Don't let your customers sit there before you go wash when they don't want the dye to be very deep. You make sure that you ask them, but do you want it to be very deep? They will say no. You say okay. The person will sit. You give like 3-4 minutes. You just wash it with cold water or warm water. Which one do you want? And you can even use shampoo if you want. Most of the time, for dye, it's not very necessary to use shampoo. But when it's cream, you can use shampoo and warm water. It also helps. So you can see that I'm just cleaning the ear side on the sideburns, going close to the ear. I'm just cleaning that place. I'm making sure that the dye there wouldn't be that much. And on the down here, I put the dye very deep so that I can just get a reflection. Now let me describe the reflection to you. You know, this is a low fade, and with low fade close to the ear, there's no dye there. That place is very faded to the skin. So we are using an eye that can show us that the fade is just kind of ascending from the ear side and also descending from the ear side to the beard. That is why the beard, the portion of the sideburn that is close to the beard is not supposed to be very deep. I don't know if you see it. So it will more or less be like another fading towards the down, like the one towards the up, or the one above the ear, kind of something like that. It gives you that picture of something like that. So that's what you guys are seeing. It's very easy to do when you practice. I told you in my second episode video that haircut is like learning how to ride bicycle. You can read it in the book, but practicality is very important. You have to practicalize it with your own hand so you can be able to do whatever you are watching. So now that you are doing it like this, on your first attempt, you might not be perfect, but please don't give up. You can be doing it over and over, and you will come to know that it's very easy to do. So that is it for the hairline and the dyeing of the hair. It's so easy. You guys can watch it now and see whatever I'm doing. It's so easy. It's not that difficult. You can do it. Haircut is one of the sectors that is very good to learn. And when you travel anywhere, you have that skill with you, you can just resume work immediately you get to the town, because everybody on earth grows one way or the other some kind of hair, and they must shape it or get rid of it one way or the other. So learning this thing is very, very important. Make sure you are learning it very well. You see, I'm spreading the dye with that big comb and with that big brush. That way it makes it spread it uniformly, unlike the small one. So after everything, you make sure that you have to use that big brush, and make sure that that big brush you are using is clean. Most people will use the big brush to do old dye, for old dye to maybe be in the brush, and they will still use that old dye to spread it. It will not work. It will make the work very difficult. So now just look at the customer. Everything is done. This is after washing, and this person wanted a little bit deep, and that's what you see. You just apply your Malaysia spray or your olive oil spray, and you disinfect with your alcohol, 70% alcohol, and that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Next episode is coming.